What's up, everybody? I'm Raph, and this is Master Roshi, who's a leopard gecko, not a tokay gecko. But today, we are going to talk about tokay geckos and how they have such a really terrible reputation, and why, in my opinion, this reputation is it's really not fair. It's misrepresented. They do have some tendencies that people don't like. A lot of people think it's aggression, and I'm going to talk about my opinions on why they are not evil, demonic Pokemon. But before we get into it, if you guys like reptile content and you like Master Roshi here, look at this. Amazing. And make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we're gonna keep hitting you with more reptile content twice a week. So, that's about it, right? Let's get into it. Roshi here with me because as you can see, his personality is almost polar opposite to our tokay gecko that we have named Bangkok, because she's ready to fight a Muay Thai kickboxing match at any time. I truly believe it.
Do you remember what he said? Do you remember what he said to him?
He's Bangkok ready.
Yes.
And tokays are the second largest gecko species in the world, topping out around 15 inches. They're right behind well, maybe not right behind. They're behind the Lucianus gecko, which is a big old gecko boy. Tokay geckos are 100% carnivorous, arboreal geckos. They love spending time in the treetops, and they're native to Southeast Asia country, I think northern India even, all the way out to like the Philippines and things like that. But they also thrive as an invasive species in Florida and some other places, but our girl actually was caught in the wild, but in Florida. I'm not a huge fan of wild caught animals in general, really. But in a situation like in Florida, it's damaging native populations of insects, small rodents, things like that. So I don't feel too bad about taking a tokay gecko out of where it's invasive and bothering other native species, and trying to see if I can develop a relationship with it, which we'll talk about later. So let's talk about that reputation that tokay geckos have. Now, they're known to be demons, you hear that all the time. They're bitey, they're aggressive. Part of this is that they have very powerful jaws with tiny teeth, but super sharp teeth, right? They're the kind of the pit bulls of the gecko world, if you will, which, pit bulls have a bad reputation anyway. They're really just really trainable dogs. I think the bitey part of this, this reputation, or, the aggressive part, is that we have a leopard gecko also that doesn't like handling as much as Roshi does, or tolerate it at least. But, even a leopard gecko that you have and you're trying to interact with it, if it really doesn't want to, it's just going to keep trying to get away. And it's very rare to see a bite. It can happen, of course. I don't speak in absolutes, but their disposition leads them more to want to get away from large ape predator. It seems that tokay geckos, they know they have these super powerful jaws and these super sharp teeth, and they've learned that they can use them when they have to, right? So they might be a little more predisposed to fighting than flying, if we're talking about the fight or flight response. But the problem with this is, when you see them biting people, it's a person is restraining them or going towards them as a predator might, or something like that. So I've never heard of this. Maybe it happens. Obviously, I don't know. But like in the wild, a tokay is not going to be in a tree and see you and be like, oh, I'm going to go bite that thing, When you're grabbing on a tokay gecko and it feels like it doesn't have the option as much to run away, where a leopard gecko might keep trying to get away, a tokay might use those teeth. And they can do some damage. No real serious injuries, I think, have resulted from tokay geckos, but you'll get a nasty bite. To me, I wouldn't call them aggressive, you know what I mean? They're not coming after you. Really, no reptiles are that aggressive. Maybe large predatory lizards could show aggression, but really what you're seeing most of the time, even with those large lizards, is defensiveness, right? They're scared. Even venomous snakes, they know they can't eat you. They want to use their venom for food. So they're not coming at you like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get them, Like, it's not fun for them. They think that you're trying to kill them, so they might have to take drastic measures. Another part of this reputation that I really enjoy, I think it's amazing, but it can lead to people thinking they're uncontrollable or whatever. Guys, these are super athletic lizards. Now, I didn't think that I'd ever have an animal more athletic than my cats, because even large monitor lizards are great at climbing, and they can be very quick and agile, but obviously cats are on another level, right? They can almost fly, you know, cats are crazy. But I have to say, Bangkok, our Tokay gecko, she is more she teleports, dude. She doesn't move. Jumping, climbing, it's really amazing to see the way that she can move her body. But you know, it's not conducive for handling, so that could be part of the bad reputation. Overall, well, I think they do have a bad reputation. There is one cool part, cute part, whatever you want to call it, that they're kind of known for, and I really enjoy as well. So they're basically real-life Pokemon, because the name Tokay gecko, their scientific name is gecko, but the common name of Tokay gecko comes from their mating call, which you might hear right now. So geckos are actually the only lizards with true vocal cords. So many geckos can vocalize. Baby leopard geckos love to scream at you and when they're nervous. And Leachianus geckos bark, croak, do things like that as well. But the Tokay gecko's call is just, it's one of a kind, really. It's just really cool that they literally got their name, like Pokemon, from the sound that they make. Well, I guess I don't know what they make the sound because of their name, maybe in Pokemon, because it's not nature, it's animation. And the funny thing is, of course, they're not really saying Tokay, so you can come up with a bunch of different things it sounds like. And I know that US soldiers, while in Vietnam, during the Vietnam War, they called them FU lizards, to be family friendly. So let's talk about the truth behind this reputation and why I think it is a little bit of a misrepresentation to say that they're evil, aggressive, mean lizards. The truth is they just seem to be terrified and very defensive. You know, there's varying levels of defensiveness in animals. Roshi has no defensiveness. Going for a ride with the aliens. Tokay geckos are probably super scared and defensive because they're not regularly bred in captivity, much more so now, which is amazing to see because I think people are realizing that they can be pretty good pets for an experienced keeper usually. I've my own opinions on expert level reptiles versus intermediate and beginner, right? Because I think you can really pull anything off if you do the right research. You know, don't go just, oh yeah, I can keep a chameleon, you know? Because even though, like I said, Roshi, Kami, and Bartleby were impulse buys when we first started out, a lot of research went in. Hours and hours of research went into getting Melon, our panther chameleon, including having the enclosure all set and ready to go before he even came to us, you know, monitoring the temperatures and humidity, making sure that... But anyway, it's a different video maybe. Let's see that video, huh? So, since they are not regularly bred in captivity, they're not like leopard geckos, which have been bred around people. Roshi's great-grandparents were probably captive leopard geckos. You know what I'm saying? We do pass down information in our DNA, not just us, but animals too. And I think part of that, like why bearded dragons are calm in the wild too, but they're at the point where they're pretty much placid. Not all of them, of course. I don't speak in absolutes, like I said. But they're used to dealing with people. Domestic dogs. They were all wolves once, you know what I mean? We can interact calmly like this. Where Tokay geckos, that is not the case. So as I said, building a relationship with an animal like this, especially a wild caught one, captive bred baby, you probably will have a great time. Anything's jumpy as a baby. World's scary when you're tiny, as Clint's Reptile says. But feeding is a good way to begin to develop that relationship. Reptiliatus, really good YouTube channel. If you're watching me and you like reptiles, go watch him too, and then come back and watch me. He is able to use feeding as a time to interact with his Tokay geckos. He seems to be having really good success. I enjoy watching those videos, seeing a Tokay interact with a person that's not grabbing it and it's biting the person. It's cool to see. So we've had our Tokay for a few months, and I thought, you know, let's just try to tongue feed it. You know what I mean? It eats, it's readily eating. When I release the food items into the enclosure. But I thought maybe if it's in its favorite spot and I just bring it some food, it'll go well. Well, it didn't. Here you go. So this was actually the first time we heard our Tokay make any sort of noise, which is another reason why we think it's female. Visually, it looks female, but I can't really know because you got to get hands on it to figure it out. I'm not going to teach you how to sex a Tokay gecko. I'm no expert. It was really cool to hear it. Sadly, that was a defensive call, so it really wanted me to go away, and I was causing some stress. Baby steps, you know what I'm saying? And it might never happen with this particular animal because, again, being a wild-caught animal, being an animal that's not used to being around humans, you're stressed out. You're really scared. In these clips that you're seeing of our gecko, she's really dark, you know. Right before the feeding, I peeked on her while she was in her hide. Super bright, super powder blue with these beautiful orange spots. And then once I started bothering her, she darkened up. So that does it for today's video. We're going to keep working with this animal, see if we can't get it to tongue feed someday. Maybe we can't. That's all right too. As long as she's happy and she's not murking a bunch of Florida's insect population, I think it's an overall success. We'll see if we can get away with anything else. Yeah, that's it. Tokay geckos are one of the species I wanted the most as a pet. I waited till I had a little more experience with reptiles in general before getting one. And I look forward in the future to maybe getting a pair of captive bred babies and trying to breed them myself one day, just to try to help make it more accessible to get these bad boys captive bred, where they're gonna, number one, thrive more, number two, you're not taking them out of the wild, and number three, so that more people can realize that they're not demonic Pokemon, contrary to popular belief. So if you like today's video and you think Roshi has pretty eyes, show them, Roshi. Like and subscribe to Red Ribbon Reptiles. And we're going to keep bringing you content twice a week. Reptiles, sometimes cats. But we hope you have a great day and Happy New Year. Make this year a great one. Do what you love, guys. That's what we're doing here. Even if nobody cares, I care. I'm having a great time. With that said, we'll see you guys next time.